Hello and welcome to Let's Play Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, with me, BringItDon. Diablo 3 was both developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It was initially released in May of 2012, with the Reaper of Souls expansion releasing in March of 2014. And just like its predecessors, this is an ARPG, but it does lean much more heavily into the action aspect of that genre. And just like its prequels, I do have a fair bit of history with this game. Not all of it good, but also not all of it bad. So without further ado, we'll go over all the classes, and then we'll jump into the game. I have played through the game with all of the base classes: the Barbarian, the Demon Hunter, the Monk, Witch Doctor, and Wizard. The Crusader is added with the Reaper of Souls expansion, and the Necromancer has its own standalone DLC. So, starting with the Barbarian. Primary attribute is Strength. The Stoic Warrior uses tremendous physical strength to crush foes. The Barbarian moves aggressively, unleashing a multitude of attacks on enemies. Tough and unyielding, Barbarians tower above other warriors, using their rage and physical ability to crush their enemies in close quarters. Fury drives the Barbarian's assaults and is generated in the thick of combat by dealing and receiving damage. So unlike the previous games, not every class draws on mana to use abilities. Each class has their own unique resource, and they all work differently from one another. Next up is the Crusader. Its primary attribute is Strength. Religious warriors committed to expunging evil from the world through discipline, honor, and unswerving vigilance. The Crusader uses cruel flails and shields to dominate the battlefield and cleanse the world of corruption. An immovable stone in the middle of any fight, the Crusader stands firm against waves of enemies while annihilating monsters near and far. The Crusader is imbued with the righteous power of Wrath. Each attack generates more, which in turn allows the Crusader to unleash ever more devastating powers. The Demon Hunter. Primary attribute is Dexterity. Ranged weaponry and shadow manipulation make this vengeful hero an elusive stalker of demons. The Demon Hunter uses a variety of traps and escape skills to evade the grasp of foes. Lethal and agile, Demon Hunters move fluidly across the battlefield, maneuvering into position to strike their enemies from a distance. The Demon Hunter's attacks and tactical skills are powered by the dual forces of Hatred and Discipline. Hatred is rapidly regenerated, but Discipline is slowly recovered. The Monk's primary attribute is Dexterity, a holy warrior who attacks faster than the eye can follow, disabling enemies with precision blows. Holy and elemental magic infuse the Monk with the ability to heal and deliver crippling damage to adversaries. Quick and agile, Monks are masters of martial arts, employing their blinding speed to pummel their foes while dodging their enemies' attacks. The Force of Spirit powers the Monk's abilities. Spirit is gained through the Monk's primary attacks. The Necromancer. Primary attribute is Intelligence. A commander of the dead, this Dark Priest can summon a fearsome army or call upon the powers of blood and bone to achieve victory. Formidable opponents to even the most experienced warrior, Necromancers manipulate corpses, summon the dead, or curse their enemies to drain the life from them. Focused and intense, Necromancers can use their minions to absorb attacks, or rely on spells and speed to obliterate their foes. Necromancers naturally sense the essence within each life form, and their magic draws from this source. Witch Doctor. Primary attribute is Intelligence. A manipulator of the forces of life and death, the shrewd caster wields the power of the spirits in astounding ways. With a wide range of offensive spells to choose from, the Witch Doctor doesn't shirk from the fray. Wise and cunning, the Witch Doctor draws upon the magic of the spirits and summons creatures from beyond the grave. The Witch Doctor utilizes the power of mana to cast devastating spells. And the Wizard. Primary attribute is Intelligence, a master of the temporal and elemental energies powering creation itself. The Wizard can inflict, withstand, and avoid damage with a vast and formidable array of directed and area spells. Powerful and elusive, Wizards wield magic by creating protective shields and unleashing spells that rain destruction upon their enemies. The Wizard draws on arcane power, a quickly regenerating resource to cast spells. And also, unlike the previous entries in this franchise, you can select male or female at character creation. For this run, we'll be playing a Crusader. And Don Victus sounds very Crusader-y. Let's get started. I'll stick with Master for now. Won't touch Torment yet. So Master, this level is recommended for players who have mastered their hero skills and have several pieces of legendary equipment. I don't have that, but the game's not that hard. Don't listen to its warnings. Well, let's jump in.
At 12, I swore the oath, leaving home and family. At 16, I saw my master die. I took up his shield and his name, and on that day, I became a crusader. Armored by faith, driven by duty, bound to kill the enemies of Zakarum. Sworn to live as a crusader and to die as one. Now, corruption returns to the hearts of men. I see it in the eyes of the mad. Hear it in the howling of the damned. A falling star in the west leads me to the town of New Tristram. The crusade calls me, and so I go. The fallen star is close, but there is death here too.
So at Paragon levels, I really shouldn't. I have a funny story about that I'll tell a little bit later into the series. But let's go ahead and put points into strength. Alright, starting out, we have access to Punish. It's one of our generating abilities. So every class has an ability that you can always cast, and they use to generate your resource. So we currently have Punish. Strike your enemy and gain Hardened Senses, increasing your chance to block for a short time. And then just a basic melee attack. Also Potions. Well, you just have the one potion. It's infinite uses, but it has a cooldown. So right now this potion has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And there are unique potions you can find later on that have unique effects. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, we're already level 2. We now have Shield Bash. Charge at your enemy, bashing him and all nearby foes violently with your shield. We'll speak to Captain Rumford.
Greetings. I am a crusader of the Zakarum faith, and I saw a star falling on this town.
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming.
We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
They keep coming!
I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gate. We'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
We'll dig into all this stuff as we level up. Right now we need to move forward and speak to some folks in town. So my Crusader has mentioned that he is of the Zakarum faith a few times. You may remember from Diablo II.
Zakarum has fallen to disgrace. What faith can save us now? It is the end of the world. Can't you see that?
Sorry,
Zakarum will be restored, friend.
Do want to interrupt that exchange. Act 3, Diablo II. Those were the folks that were corrupted by Mephisto that we had to fight our way through.
As the shepherd watches over his flock, so shall I care for those who seek to protect us. By the grace of the ancients, may your...
Found some interesting things on my latest dig. You should take a look.
I promised Marco I'd protect him, and now he's dead.
Nothing ever seems to change in New Tristram, does it?
What do you mean?
There's always some threat of the risen dead or foul evil descending on the town, isn't there?
Yeah, something like that. Keep forgetting that I have it. The mini-map up here.
Don't
It'll just use
dare lift
that.
a finger to help our mayor fix his wagon. My brother died defending this town, while that bloated coward tried to run away.
Some heroes are fighting each other in an area near here. Wanna go? Oh, and you didn't hear about it from me. Afraid of damaging your armor or weapons? That won't happen over there. In fact, no one even dies. Disappointing, really.
Please move your cart.
How dare you speak to me like that? I'm the mayor of this town.
Lord Mayor, please move your cart.
Are you mad? This town is doomed. Anyone with a grain of sense should be trying to get out. Will you help me or not?
Fleeing will not save your life, and certainly not your town.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember. A lot of this stuff may not even be mine. Again, there's an interesting story with my Blizzard account. So when Diablo 3 first came out, I bought it, I played through all the classes, through the story, didn't really care for it, dropped it. I don't remember if it was for a year or until Reaper of Souls came out. And then I tried to log back in, and it turns out my Blizzard account was banned for botting, which I've never done before. And so I didn't have access to my account for years. I didn't get it back till very recently, actually. And so I'm thinking some of this stuff isn't mine, along with the Paragon levels that I have. So I think the Paragon levels were added with Reaper of Souls. And I had never played Reaper of Souls on PC, only on console with my buddy. Now some of this is probably mine that I held onto, but it's weird it's not identified. Like the yellow stuff is probably mine. I thought there was some pauldrons I should be able to equip right out the gate. But maybe not.
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business was profitable enough that New Tristram sprang up to accommodate them. Fewer travelers visit now, though, and the town is mostly populated by craftsmen and farmers.
So I thought that those little excerpts had subtitles. Maybe not.
I don't care what anyone says. That thing that fell from the sky was no rock. A rock doesn't cause the dead to leave their graves.
Have you come to help us? The other adventurers who came through here didn't look so deadly.
Are you Leah? They tell me you survived the falling star.
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but Watch out! The wounded are turning!
This is killing business.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
Something like putting the dead back to sleep? I can do that.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do. We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
Welcome to the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
Alright, back to Captain Rumford. I'm gonna customize our banner as well. Sure. Don't really care about it. Oh, and as you have more... Oh.
Only Rumford came back. How could that help us?
We never should have built on this cursed ground. Maybe Cain was right. Even in death, Diablo torments us.
As more players are added to the game instance, the banners will surround the waypoints as well.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
I've come to help. How do we stop these risen dead?
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
Have faith, Captain. Have faith.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors.
They're attacking the barricades!
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
I got some shoes.
I, Deckard Cain, have spent many years traveling and writing about the strange creatures in our world, but the sight of the wretched mothers still haunts me. They are the remnants of Queen Asilla's slaughtered handmaidens who were twisted by foul magic. Now they feast upon cadavers and regurgitate them as newly formed, risen dead.
So we do have an upgrade. Sorry, we have a different one. We have Slash. Ignite the air in front of you, damaging all enemies caught in the flames. I like the block effect, so we'll keep Punish for now. Well, you know what? Let's show it off at least. It's another change between the previous titles and Diablo 3. Your level ups aren't permanent, you just swap between all your skills willy-nilly.
I will never forget the first time I saw these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones, buried long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
Small upgrade. I need to find... Never mind. I keep trying to hold tab to see the loot on the ground. I don't need to.
chaos everywhere, and word in town is that Lacdanin killed the king. If only this is true, perhaps our days and nights of living in terror are behind us now.
That is a good pop our potion, right? It's on cooldown. I don't lose anything by activating it. So the Reaper of Souls expansion did add a lot to the game to make up for the shortcomings that the base game had. We won't get into a lot of that stuff. I'm not going to play any of the in-game content in this Let's Play. I'm going to play through the campaign. So we'll be missing a lot of the improvements.
Nothing stops the crusade.
I'll be showcasing those in this run. Okay, we have Shield Glare. Oh. Second.
Here, reader, I am Abd al-Hazir, adventurer, scholar, and researcher. I share my knowledge of this incredible world and its creatures through my insightful missives, often at grave risk to myself. Why, I was recently in Kanduras, where my tents were ransacked by vicious quill fiends. I was able to beat them off with a shoe, but a less bold man would have fared far worse.
That is a downgrade from my starting equipment. So we have access to Shield Glare now. Light erupts from your shield, blinding all enemies in front of you. That's all that's going to tell me. I'm going to swap back to Punish.
Not yet.
More dead zombies. Oh, I forgot to go down in this basement. Sorry. Cellar.
Not ready yet.
One more thing, I do want to turn on damage values. Make it a little bit easier to compare all this base game damage.
Another wretched mother dead. It should slow the attacks.
Alright, so I said a shield bash, we can now use sweep attack. I'll sweep a mystical flail through the enemies before you, dealing a large amount of damage. Also, let's Wrath too. Give that a shot. Our first boss, Tyrant the Discordant.
This will be a good battle. I require more wrath. Not enough wrath.
Let's grab
That
these
feels
so we
better.
can heal up a little bit. This is taking a little bit of time. Eventually this will even out. We're gonna level up so quickly on the higher difficulty. A power glove. Oh, a health regen. That'll come in handy, especially with our ability to block. Alright, so I'll fight this champion mob, and then we'll call it an episode.
My wrath is low. Not enough wrath. I require more wrath.
Oh great, a Judgmental Crusader shield. Hey, +2 maximum wrath. Not that it really matters. We're gonna replace gear so frequently in this playthrough. It's insane. This game is a loot fest compared to the other games. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next episode, we will proceed to hunt down the Wretched Queen in the Old Ruins. We will have to retread some old ground next time, but that's okay because it's an RPG. That's half the fun. I'm gonna go and take out these guys. There we go. Alright, but for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.